Okay, I'm gonna have to hit record so I don't forget this. Yes, saw that. Okay, let me make sure I hit record. Man, it's been a while. I had to find the record button. Okay. Hey guys, I'm super excited to be talking to you guys today and sharing with you guys from my heart. And yes, if you were watching closely, you could see me in the reflection. Go over to my window, do my little prayer meditation, ask for a little bit of guidance on this call so I can help you guys out the best way possible. That's what I want you guys to know about me. It's very rare that I even make slides ever. So I want you guys to know that I thought a lot about this on Sunday about this call. You know, that's when I let Lindsay know what the topic would be, and then I put some slides together. And so I have some really great things that I want to share with you that I feel will help everybody if you take it to heart. And not only that, but take what you learned today and then apply it into your life. So I'm super honored and blessed that I get to speak on Lindsay's call. I want you guys to know that I feel like a brand new coach still to this day. And it's almost been 4 years, which is crazy. But I still feel like a brand new coach because I still do what brand new coaches do every single day, the 3 vital behaviors. So I want to share with you guys a little bit about my story. It's like I've told my story. Many of you guys may have heard it sometime in the past or in a YouTube video or on a team call or something like that before. But I like to hear it, so I'm going to tell it again. So brace yourselves. No, but I'm going to hit on a small part of my story that will connect with what I want to teach you guys today. But before I do that, and before I forget later on in the call, I want to make sure that each and every one of you guys has already marked in your calendar Super Saturday. Super Saturday is coming up in April, so the best way for you to find your local Super Saturday event is when you get done with this call today, not during the call because you need to be focused and learning right now so you don't miss anything, but after the call, make a little note to go to your Coach Online office, go to over to the events tab, and you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see Super Saturday, and you can click on that, and then you click on View Event Listings. So make sure that you make that a priority to make it to your Super Saturday. I remember Brigitte and I, as brand new coaches out here in Idaho Falls, driving to Boise with a couple other coaches, and it was a huge thing for us to meet other coaches in the company because here we are in Idaho doing this thing on our own, connected to Lindsay, watching what she's doing on social media, but I needed to meet people in person. So make sure that you make it a priority to get to your Super Saturday. And by the end of this call, you're going to be so committed that you are going to do that. So I fully believe that is going to happen for you guys. So make sure that you guys have that and your Super Saturday. Then the next thing, of course, will be our summit in Nashville. So Summit in Nashville, go to www.coachsummit2015.com. Even if you're a brand new coach, we want you to be there. We want you to be a part of Summit with us. And I don't know if Lindsay knows this or not, but I do have, thanks to Mike and Jen Greenberg working together with us, we still have rooms available. If you're still looking for a room and you want to be with a bunch of Dynasty coaches, we have 150 rooms at the Embassy Suites Hotel. So if you need something with that, we still have some rooms available that I think we could help hook some people up with at a pretty good price. So just let me know if you need that. Private message me, and we'll connect you to that as well. So if you're afraid of finding a room, just know we got some rooms too for you guys if you guys need that. But we want you at Summit. We want you there 100%, and it's going to be a pretty amazing event. I mean, every Summit, I've learned so much from every event I've been at. And one other thing I want you guys to know that I talked with my coaches just the other day about is we had so I'm going to wait and tell that on my story. I'm going to tell on my story. When I talk about my story, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the people that you're going to be seeing going to Cancun here in just a couple weeks, and what you can, and the ways that you can react to that or change your goals or change your mindset in your business so that you make sure that you are a part of events like that in the future. So I'll share that part of my story as we get into that right now. But my topic that I wanted to give today, and I've been thinking about this forever. So when Lindsay wanted to know my topic, I was like transformation, hands down, transformation. Like that's what this business is about, is the transformation. So, if you look at the 3 vital behaviors, the transformation is one of those. It's being proof that the products work, which is drinking your Shakeology and doing your workout. So how vital is your transformation? It is 100% vital. And I'm going to share with you the part of my story pretty much from when I started P90X. I'm not going to talk about my life before P90X today, but I'm going to tell you about when I started P90X. I was introduced to P90X by a neighbor who did exactly what we're supposed to do as coaches. He was fit, he was healthy, and I was not healthy. And he was just a neighbor, and I said, what do you do? Like, you look like you have so much energy, you're fit. I wish I was like that. And he told me, hey, you know what? And he shared his story. I started working out and getting back in shape, working out with the football players at the high school gym. I'm the special teams coach at the high school, and I weight train the coach at the football players in the morning. And I was like, oh man, I wish I had something like that. I have no idea what to do. I tried working out when I was in my early 20s, but I never had abs or anything. I've never looked like that. So he gave me an invite. He said, hey, why don't you come to the gym with me at 6 o'clock in the morning? And unfortunately, at that time, I was working 12 hours a day, and I went to work at 5:30, so I couldn't go to the gym. So I gave him my first objection, right? I'm like, hey, sorry, I can't go to the gym. I wish I could, but I got to be at work at that time. And so he gave another invite. And remember, this is not a coach. I'm using it as an example of what we're supposed to do. Giving me options and helping me. He said, why don't you try that P90X? That's something you can do from home. So I decided to do P90X. And it wasn't exactly that day I decided, but that's what planted the seed in my mind that I wanted to get fit, and that I knew that there was a tool that could help me, which was P90X. So my wife starts working out before I do. Gabby starts working out. She wants to work off, the excess baby weight. And she did this workout, and then she's running up and down the stairs, and I'm laying on the couch exhausted, and I didn't even work out. And it was that day when I was laying on the couch and I saw her doing that I realized that I needed to make a change as well. So she was that inspiration in that aspect for me. So I decided and committed 100% to P90X. And it was actually more like 125%. And I'll talk to you about that on another slide. But I started P90X at 187 pounds, and I committed for 90 days. I was 100% driven and knew what my end goal would be like, what I wanted to look like, and I started. So I had an amazing transformation. I went from 187 down to 145, which is way too light for me at 5'11", but I had abs for the first time ever. I started posting on Facebook about my abs. I started posting about my progress, how excited I was, because you guys know firsthand, when you start working out, you get excited about life. You feel energized, you have more energy throughout the day, you're more confident, and that's what I had. And I'd never had that type of confidence before outside of alcohol and drugs in my past. So I had this confidence in a very healthy way, and I wanted to share that with people. So I started sharing that with people. And I wanted to start connecting with other people like that, because of course there's people that are like, dude, are we going to see another picture of the abs this week? They would write that kind of stuff on my wall, which was, for me, without confidence, it was still a hard thing for me to deal with. So I decided that I wanted to connect with people that wanted to talk about health and fitness, and I wanted friends like that. So I went to the P90X fan page. I posted my results on there. I posted, I was posting on my Facebook already, but I created a group, which you could call a challenge group, just a free group to help people. And I started helping people with P90X. I started connecting with people with P90X. And here's how I found out about coaching. And it was not a very good way. I had a bunch of coaches send me copy and pasted messages to if I wanted to have a 3-way call with their upline coach and join their team. And I was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I came in here to encourage others and to see share my results and help encourage other people to have results and to inspire people. I don't know what you're talking about, 3-way calls and uplines and sponsor coach and all that stuff. I was turned off by it because I got so many copy and pasted and non-personal messages. So I was like, what in the heck is this thing that they're trying to sign me up for? It sounds like some kind of scam. So that was my mindset. And I went on YouTube because YouTube was my way of learning about things. If I want to fix the faucet, I look at YouTube. If I want to build something in the yard, I look at YouTube. So I want to find out about Beachbody coaching, I look on YouTube. And I found a bunch of coaches, and I believe the first one I found was Wayne Wyatt, and there was a few others. But something about Lindsay's message connected with me on her videos. So she had her email in her YouTube channel in her description. So I reached out to Lindsay. We talked about becoming a coach. She basically told me, Scotty, you have a great transformation. Like, you would make a great coach. And, I wasn't somebody that always had somebody encourage me and tell me that I'm great at things, because at work they're telling you, hey, you're not doing so well, work harder, all this stuff. So I was like, oh, this feels good. So honestly, it felt good to have somebody saying you're doing great, you would be great at, so having that type of value was amazing for me, but it wasn't for me. I told her I couldn't do it. And really, I told her I couldn't afford it. So Lindsay, you're going to learn some things today as well. From this, but I told her I couldn't afford it. And realistically, I fully believe that anybody can afford anything if you set aside money and work towards it. I was still able to do things like gather up, when I decided to become a coach, gather up money to sell and then buy things. Like when I decided to become a coach, it only took me less than a week to gather the money by buying and selling stuff. So you can make things happen. So that was my cover excuse to Lindsay, is I don't have money for that. And for me, it was even just money for the $40 and the $15 sign-up fee. And she got to know who I was. I had a daughter named Keena, a daughter named Mila. She knew that my wife, Gabby, worked at the hotel. And so I'm going about, and there comes a date, and they have how we have our promotions. There was a free coach sign-up. So you could sign up as a coach for $0, right? And she didn't even talk to me about Shakeology at that point. I guess she saw something in me that, that I was helping people and working on my transformation continuously. But she's like, Scotty, this is your chance. You can sign up as a coach and it's free. You don't even have to pay the $40. And so I still told her no, because it was the excuse. In my mind, I can't pay the 14 at the time, 95. I can't pay the $15 a month coach fee. Like, it just can't happen in my budget. It's not something that I can justify right now. So I'm giving her all these objections, right? And she's just coming back every so often. And I'm talking like months. It's not like hounding me. She'll like my pictures once in a while, comment on stuff. But I'm watching what she's doing, and I'm continuing to tell her no. But this whole time, I'm practicing being a coach. I'm working my butt off on P90X. I finished my 90 days, and I continued. I did another 90 days. I bought a weighted vest and challenged myself a little bit more. So I'm continuing my transformation. I'm still talking about it to people. People are buying it off of Amazon, Craigslist, eBay, whatever. They're getting these programs, and I'm encouraging them. And I start making blog posts, which sucked horribly at the time because they were like one sentence and a quote that I got off of Google, and it wasn't really me. It was just something I was putting out there because I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just trying to learn and share everything that I could with people. And so all these times I'm telling Lindsay, no, it's not for me. And she's, she would give me the little nuggets like, hey, you're already doing what I'm doing. You're just not getting paid for it. Those little things where I'm like, hey, when I leave the conversation, you lay in bed at night and I'm like, I am doing my thing and I'm not getting paid for it, So I'm having these things, and it actually took me 8 months of going through that process. 8 months after the 3-month P90X when I first reached out and found her. So we're talking like a year since I started P90X. So I've done P90X now a total of 4 times. And I've been watching Lindsay on Facebook and other coaches. And I'm following like 20 coaches on Facebook, and I'm watching what they're doing. And I'm like, you know what? They're like me. Like, these people are just like me. And so there comes this date when the date was March 19th of 2011, which was just 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago. And we had my daughter, Ellie. Ellie was my 3rd daughter. And so, I don't know, some of you parents out there will connect with this, but the baby's born, right? And it's exciting. My wife comes home from work, and we're not thinking about the bills at that time because we're in the excitement of the new baby. And then comes the time, a couple weeks, we're home with the baby. And now we're like, okay, what do we do now? We got 3 kids. Do you go back to work? Do we figure out a babysitter? I remember looking around at how to get other jobs, so she wouldn't have to work, and trying to figure out all of this stuff, right, on how this is going to work. And then like 3 weeks passes. It was actually 23 days passes. And at the time I always went to work a little bit early, and I grabbed my mail at the mailbox, and I would sit in my car and I'd sift through my mail, throw the junk out, and then keep the bills that I had to do later. So something that I did at that time. And at this time, I'm starting to get like the hospital bill, the bill from I'm the kind of guy that checks his mail like once a week or every other week. So I get the doctor bill, I get the anesthesia bill, I get all these bills are starting to come in. I'm looking at these numbers. I'm like, oh crap, how am I going to make this happen? Right? This is impossible for me. So I go into my work and I'm literally scared out of my mind on how to pay these bills. First, I get to work. I'm scared. I'm thinking about these bills. How am I going to pay this? And my mind's running with like, what should I do? Do I pick up another job? Do we find a babysitter that's cheaper? Do I find a family member I could trade work for? How am I going to do this? So I'm trying to figure that out. And in that moment, I'm working, but this is on my mind. It's scaring the living crap out of me. This is April 11th, 2011. So I then get on Facebook on my break. I walk out, get on Facebook, and this part, I got so mad. And this is the part I was going to tell you guys, I was going to tell you about Success Club. I got so mad because I saw a bunch of pictures of people on a trip, on a cruise, Beachbody coaches, selfies with Sean T, with Tony Horton, who was my hero at the time. And I was so mad that they were on a free trip, doing workouts that I was doing, sharing it with people like I was doing. But I was at work stressing out about bills and how to take care of my family. And they were enjoying life and living out what we would call a life of design. So at that day, I'll tell you what happened. And I think this needs to happen in everybody, which will lead into our transformations. In that day, my fear, which realistically, my fear wasn't the bills, like the $15 fee or the $40 coach sign up that I was telling Lindsay. This day is when the real fear came out, and I was able to overcome that experience of not wanting to become a coach. And my real reason I didn't want to become a coach that I didn't tell Lindsay about was that I was afraid that I would fail once again at something. Like I'd failed so many times before. I was like, another chance to fail? I'm going to pass on that, right? I'm going to pass on that. But the thing that happened is that my fear of how am I going to take care of my family and pay these bills became greater than my fear of failure as a team Beachbody coach. So my fear of how am I going to pay the bills, take care of my family, take care of my future became greater than my fear of failing as a Beachbody coach. So from that day, people ask me all the time, when did you get it? When did you know that you'd be successful? Or when did it click for you? When was your aha moment? It was the day I signed up, because it was that day that I understood that I would have that same fear for the rest of my life unless I changed it, unless I took action and faced this fear I had of being a coach, which I had no reason to go against because it completely changed my life and my mindset and my confidence and everything about me was beginning to change. So I made that leap of faith to become a coach. And that day, from that day forward, we've never missed Success Club 10. That was a goal I set for myself as I started this business. I will never miss it. And to be honest with you guys, I was scared out of my mind. I remember when I got to like month 11, I'm like, okay, one more month, I'm going to do this. And I hit that 12th month and I was like, holy crap, I got to do that again. So I still felt like that at the end of 12 months. So I want you to know that even the most successful coaches you meet will have those fears, but we decide to show up and face them every single day. And I'm going to talk to you guys today about how we get our mind to work that way so that we can show up and face those fears every day and stay committed to our goals. So how vital is your transformation? It's going to be very, extremely, extremely vital. This is my family. I have Mila on the left, my beautiful wife, Gabby, who's pregnant with our 5th baby, who is due in August. Then we have little Poppy. His name's actually Calum. And then we have Ellie over here to my left. And then we have Keena. So this is my family. They're the reason that I'm working so hard on Team Beachbody even today. But I'll share a little bit about that on my last slide. But yes, we're going to have 5 kids. And to be honest, it's just like Beachbody coaching. I don't know how I'm going to take care of 5 kids. I didn't know how I was going to take care of 4 kids. I didn't know how I was going to take care of 3 kids. But you guys that are parents, isn't it funny how we figure it out, even though we've had no experience with it? Beachbody coaching is going to be the same thing for you guys. You know, you have no idea to be a parent. You have no idea how to raise kids, but we figure it out. And you show up and do your best every day, and things turn out okay, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is the transformation of the mind. So I dug in it. I always have pictures that I'm sharing, but I found a picture I've never shared with anybody before. I don't think anybody's seen. This is me with Mila. She is my now 6-year-old. You can see my belly's hidden here, but this is when I was about 187 pounds. I was still insecure in myself. I was still dyeing my hair black like a rock star, trying to fit in and be cool or whatever it was. So that was me before Beachbody, before P90X. And then here's me this year. You know, me with Poppy. You know, this is about, I think that was 2009. So here's 6 years later with a transformation of Beachbody. And I look at myself in these, and I can see a different light. I can see a different person. I can see a younger looking person on the right as well, even though it's 6 years difference. But what happened to make this all possible was a transformation of my mind. So before I talk about the transformation of the mind and the other transformation that we all need to talk about and face head on, is before you even work towards your transformation on your mind and your transformation on your fitness, I think we need to understand faith a little bit. Not faith in the sense of somebody's religion, but faith in the terms of this definition that I wrote in here. Faith is having a strong, unshakable belief in something, especially without proof or evidence. So I can give you all the proof in the world prior to me becoming a P90X graduate, or prior to me becoming a Team Beachbody coach, that I would fail miserably as a Team Beachbody coach. So there's all the proof and all the evidence that I've always quit at something, or that I would work really hard at it and never really master it. So for me to get to that point and to sign up as a Beachbody coach and say that was my moment when I knew I would be successful, there had to happen inside of me a powerful transformation of the mind where I had a strong, unshakable belief that I could be one of the best or top leaders in Team Beachbody, we'll say it like that, without any proof or evidence prior to starting. So I have that strong faith, and I believe each and every one of us needs to get to that point in our own mind transformation where we have that unshakable faith and belief about where you're going with this business. And you guys will notice, you know, I started this call 20 minutes earlier, and I put on, instead of the normal music that we put on, I put on what goes in our house like 6 hours a day. I put on some Les Brown. I just searched Les Brown motivation on YouTube, and I let you guys listen to Les Brown for 15 minutes, 15 minutes prior to starting. And I want you guys to know that was the thing that transformed my mind. And I know many of you guys have never heard of personal development before becoming a coach, or I know many of you guys are blowing it off and reading 1 book or 2 books, or just calling the team calls your personal development. You guys need to do personal development. I'm going to tell you guys always that success leaves clues. Last year we listened to a total of 63 books. This year we're on book number 11 right now. The book before the 63, I read like 25. The year before that, I'm going to tell you guys that I did. I may have been a little bit against personal development, but the one thing I do want you to know is that I took the book called The Slight Edge. There's a few of them if you want to write them down. The Slight Edge, Eat That Frog, Millionaire Next Door, Think and Grow Rich, Developing the Leader Within, And these are the 5 books that I had downloaded onto my MP3 player of my phone. And I'll tell you what I did with those. I don't know how many times I listened to Think and Grow Rich. It was a little bit boring, but I learned a lot from it. And The Millionaire Next Door, the same thing. But I listened to The Slight Edge over 60 times in my first 9 months of a coach. So 60 times. So instead of listening, and I love music. I'm a musician. I play in a band. We're producing our album. Will be out in like 3 weeks. So I love music. I love how music makes me feel. That brings me pure happiness. But I had to take out the music for the most part and fill my mind with these personal development books. And I can tell you guys that these books are what transformed my mind to where I could say that I had an unshakable belief that I would be one of the top coaches in Team Beachbody before I ever had that type of success with Team Beachbody. So I listened to those books. Another thing I did was I listened to every national wake-up call. So I downloaded from I went, at that time I had my MP3 player. I didn't have any data to stream. So I downloaded all of them as MP3. Melanie, I'll answer that in a second. I downloaded all the MP3s to my phone of past wake-up calls, and I listened to every single one of them. I remember sometime like, oh man, I'm super pumped about this promotion. And then I would get back and start talking about it, and then I'd be like, oh crap, that promotion was from 2009, and we're in 2011. So that's how into these calls I was, listening to those calls. And I'll tell you what those did for me. Like, you guys should listen to every national wake-up call. You guys should listen to every team call that Lindsay puts on, or your upline coach. If you can't be on live, you should at least listen to the recording during your workout, or blast it in your whole home for everybody to hear, or whatever. But I think the biggest thing that the national wake-up calls did for me is I would first learn from the story of the coach that shared. And every time I heard their story, I was like, oh my gosh, they're just like me. Like, they're no different than me. They hate their job or whatever. They're super passionate about this. All they did was follow the process. And it's like, I can do that. That's me. So I was filling my mind with that from the 2 years prior of calls. But the other huge thing that it did for me did 2 big things for me in my business. The first one is listening to those diamond coaches. And back then, guys, it was like 6, 7, 8 diamond coaches being listed on the national wake-up calls. And now they're like 60, 70, 80, 90 sometimes, new diamond coaches in a week, right? But at that time, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so cool when they say my name. I could clearly envision Jeff Hill or Darren listing off my name as a diamond coach. So I clearly knew that was going to happen. The next big thing with that as well is I got to a point in my business where I realized and started envisioning my coaches having their names listed on the team calls as well, on the national wake-up calls. And, and it's the coolest, it's the most amazing thing to hear those advancements now and know that you visualized and thought about that and meditated on it and prayed that it would happen. And then to actually see it happen and come through, it just makes your faith grow and your mind gets stronger in your belief in the more things that you can do moving forward. So those are some of the key things I want you guys to know that got me to the level that I did in that aspect. Reading or listening. I was reading too, but I was listening to that. All those national wake-up calls, all of Lindsay's calls. And guys, quit making excuses because my wife was at work. I had a brand new baby and 2 other girls. And I was cranking that thing on the computer in the living room while I was in bathing the kids, getting them ready for bed. So there's no excuse. You can make time or work it out to where you can get on or listen to these calls. So you got to make that decision. But at the end of this call, I'm going to help you know how to make those decisions and not just say that you're going to do it. That's the most important part, right? Can I get a yes if that's the most important part, actually doing what you say you're going to do? Boom. Okay. So it was a real transformation of the mind. And I have one question. I'm going to ask a couple questions on each slide that I need you to write it down so that you can go home. You're already at home. That was dumb. You can go away from this call and you can write down do a self-analysis of where you're at right now. So if you've been a coach for 3 months, or you've been a coach for a year, or you've been a coach for 4 years, I want you to take the day that you became a coach, add all the time to the present, And I want you to look at yourself, and this is one of your assignments, and say and really see how much you've actually changed. Not with not your physical transformation, with your mind. So if you've been a coach for 2 years and sometimes you're making excuses, or, oh man, I wish my coach would call me more, or, oh man, if I only had enough time, or, oh, if I was done with my degree, or if my spouse wasn't working, right? If you're still making all those types of things, you haven't really transformed in the mind at the level that you need to become successful. So I want you to do a self-analysis and see how much you've changed, and then set goals to change your mind. So it's on every month to grow in your mindset and see how much stronger you're becoming in your mind and in your belief in yourself. And to answer the question, going back, I can't remember who asked it, but they said, did you ever have doubts? Oh my gosh, dude, I still get doubts. Like, I still sit here sometimes. Now, I'm planning a retreat to the Dominican Republic with my personally sponsored coaches. And like, I have a goal to fill 25 rooms with 25 solid diamonds. And of the ones that can go, I only have right now about 12 that there are scheduled permits and that are booked and going with us. So I have put down money for another, 12 plus couples that, have to make this happen. And I get doubts like, can this happen? Is this really something am I going to lose on this? But I have to immediately block those thoughts out, like immediately, and say, quit doubting yourself. You're awesome. You are awesome. You can do whatever it is that you want to in this life. So you can do whatever you want if you believe in it and if you get the right mindset. So I get those all the time, just like I shared about Success Club. I remember those times saying, hey, I would sit down, and I'll give you one specific example. I remember I went to, and I talked to my wife, Gabby, about this. It was right before Brigitte Linford signed up as a coach, right? She was my first really strong Star Diamond coach. And I remember I was at Success Club 8, and it was like the 25th or 26th of April, 2012. And I had no leads that were close to getting a challenge back from me, right? And this is like a year in. This is hitting my 12th month and getting Success Club All-Star. And I remember coming home, I'm like, Gabby, I don't know who this is going to be. Like, I need to work extra, and we've got to really talk to a lot more new people and find these people. And so I get away, and I'm like, I stop immediately, and I just have to tell myself, what are you worrying about? If you focus on how you don't have 8 points, or you don't have 10 points, you only have 8, and what's wrong? Why isn't anybody responding right now? Why isn't anybody ready? Once I switch that to have faith, an unshakable belief in something that you don't have proof or evidence in, which to me at that point was nobody was ready. Have faith that if you reach out to as many brand new people as you can during these next 4 days, that you will find somebody. So I had to literally get my mind to that point and get to work instead of complaining about why I didn't have what I wanted. And then call it fate. I call it God, the law of attraction. Because I changed my focus, I got a random message from Brigitte Linford, who had been watching me for 3 months on Facebook without saying anything to me. And I hit Success Club 10. So sorry, Brigitte, I'm not calling you my 10th Success Club point, but I am calling you a blessing from God in April of 2012, right? So I've always had those doubts, and even today I get them every time I set a goal. I recently set a goal, Success Club 10 for me, Success Club 5 for Gabby, and Success Club 5 for my mom. And I'm like, who do you think you are to do that? You've never been able to do that many Success Club points in a month. But I have to immediately turn that off and say, who are you to tell yourself that you can't do that? Because you're no different than anybody else that has done that in the past. So I believe that each and every one of you guys has all the potential in the world when you can believe it yourself about yourself. So I want you guys to tell yourself that you're awesome. One of my things, my top affirmation, I wish I could just show it to you. I'm going to read it to you. I have my affirmations that I read so I can continually feed my mind with what I am. Not what I was in the past, but what I am. My first one says, I am an amazing coach. Right? Because even I sometimes say, like, why aren't you where, so-and-so is? Why aren't you further than that? You should be here. Not really comparing to somebody else, but just being like, you can be there, why are you not there? And I have those thoughts in my mind. So I have to tell myself every day, Scotty, you're an amazing coach. You're pretty awesome. I even have to do that. Like sometimes I don't think that I can be ready to compete at Summit, at the Body Beast Classic. So with a marker on my mirror, it says, you are a beast and you weigh 185 pounds. So I obviously am not that yet, but I have strong and unshakable belief that that is something that I can become without ever evidence of being that person. So I'm always telling myself that type of thing. And I want you guys to know that even today, I'll tell you guys how much personal development I did today. I read in this book, 7 Levels of Intimacy, for 45 minutes. I listened to Les Brown for like 30 minutes. Then I went to the gym, and then at the gym, I listened to Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within for like 45 minutes. And then I came home, and then I started working on my daily 10 to-do list. And while I was working on my list, I was listening to Les Brown. So I probably had about 6 hours of personal development today. And I need that. I need that to be able to have the emotional, strong mindset to be able to hit my goals and believe in myself, and then still be able to help give energy to other people as well. So transformation of the mind is going to be extremely important. If you don't have a transformation of the mind and work on that, you'll never have a transformation in your fitness. Because if you can't believe that you can be healthy and fit, you don't believe that you can have a vibrant, alive, full of passion body, because you've never had that, if you don't believe that in your mind, you'll never take the actions every single day that are going to get you to that level. So your fitness transformation is going to be one of the most important things in this business, aside from, and I would say after, your mind transformation. I could tell you that the mind transformation that I've made has brought me more great people to mentor in this business than my fitness transformation has. I'm going to answer Nicole's question real quick right here. Have you ever gotten pushback from sharing your breakthroughs with your personal development on social media? You know what? I've had people block me. I did a new coach a video chat with my new coaches last night. And one of my coaches, he's one of my most strong-minded coaches right now. He told me that he blocked me. He's one of my best friends. He blocked me when I first started because I was doing everything, and he saw me as a mirror of everything he knew he should be doing and wasn't, and he blocked me. And then one day, a year later, when his doctor told him he needed to change, that's when he said, hey, you know what? Scotty's the guy that I need to go to. So remember, Les Brown will tell you this: other people's opinions of you does not define your reality. So it doesn't matter what anybody says on your Facebook that's negative or against you when you are teaching and sharing things that will help improve people's life. So you should unapologetically share everything that you learn in your personal development to inspire other people. And there's no harm in adding value in people. So until you get comfortable doing that and just make that decision to be that person and do that, you're never going to inspire anybody. So going on to the fitness transformation, guys, my name on my first blog, which that sucked so bad, was called Scotty's Over the Top Blog at blogspot.com, I think it was. And my motto, and it's still on my website and it's still on my signature from my Coach Online office, says, do more than expected and get better than expected results. So when I started this business, I knew that my results would depend clearly and fully 100% on what I did and the people that I brought in to this business with me. I 100% knew that would all depend on me. And I knew that if I wanted better results than somebody else, or I wanted to get to the point where I could bring my wife home faster, then I had to do more than expected. So if it says talk to 2 new people a day, I'm going to talk to 10. If I want to have a good transformation, that might inspire some people, but I want to have a great transformation, so I do more than expected. You guys want to know how I did more than expected today? Like I went through a struggle with breaking my collarbone in 7 places. I'm 11 weeks post-break, so I'm just barely getting back to working out. I actually have 0 abs. I'm actually at my Body Beast goal weight in the way that I don't want to be. Right? I blew a button off my shorts the other day, which is kind of funny, and I shared it on social media. You know, I'd openly share my struggles as well. but I have, this transformation to go through again. So like, I want you guys even to know today what I did. I did my Body Beast workout 110%. Today I ate 110% clean. And after I did my workout, I wanted to listen to more personal development because I really still wasn't at the place I wanted to be in my mind to start reaching out to new people and to get on my coach opportunity to the calls that I had to do to introduce Beachbody to. Now I got on the bike. And it's not just because I need more personal development. We're going to Cancun and I have no abs. So I have 16 days. I have a clear goal to have abs by 16 days. But I'm doing more than expected because I know that I have to do more if I want to have results by that time. So after I crushed my Body Beast workout, I hopped on the bike and I rode that thing as hard as I could for like 45 minutes. I about fell over when I got off of that bike. So I didn't waste my time either. During that time on the bike, I checked in on my challenge groups. I checked in on my I got on that bike and I was pumping that thing on a hard level. And I went to all my team pages, all the information I put about getting on Lindsay's national wake-up call today in my coach groups, getting on this call tonight. I did all that from the bike while I was busting my butt. So I killed three birds with one stone. I listened to personal development. I checked in on my groups and answered all the questions in the group, and I busted out some more cardio. So I'm really working on my fitness transformation. I'm not just hoping that I have a great transformation or that I'm not hoping that I get results with this program. I'm taking specific actions every single day and doing more than expected so that people will look at me when they see my posts about personal development and growth and transformations and health and all that stuff, that they can see that transformation and say, I want to follow somebody like that, right? I want to do that. And I have a specific example of how that's worked outside of Beachbody. So there's a coach of mine he's a fitness competitor now. And I had this guy that works out, I have these two guys. And he's like, he comes to me and he's like, hey, I got this 50% discount code for this workout supplement. It's got a pre-workout, it's got one you drink during your workout, and it's got a post-workout. You should get it. It's 50% off. You can use it in the next 3 days. Here's the code, right? And I'm like, oh, sweet, 50% off. Even me today, I'm all about a deal. So I go look at it, and I'm like, it looks good. I kind of look through the information. And then I see a post on Facebook of one of my coaches that's using some other supplements that's competing as an NPC competitor. And he's got his supplements stacked there, and he's looking ripped. And so I reach out to him, and I'm saying, hey, what's that? What are you using for your supplements? Like, this is what I'm using. I'm using Shakeology, once a day, sometimes twice. I'm using this protein powder. I'm using E&E. I was like, what are you using? He said, here it is. Here's a stack, that I'm using. It's on bodybuilding. And that was like almost 3 times more expensive than the discounted product that this other kid was offering me. And I chose the one that was 3 times more, even being still that guy that budgets really well. I went with a more expensive one because the guy has a transformation. He has the physique that I want. So that's why it's so important, because you're going to have people that are watching your Facebook post right now, just like I watched Lindsay for 8 months telling her no. You guys have 8 months. You guys have 6, 8 months, 9 months, 12 months to create a transformation that when they're actually ready, they can see that you've actually changed and that it works. So that when they come to you then, they can say, hey, I've seen you've really changed a lot. It's inspiring. I love to see what you're doing. I see that the program works. Tell me what to do and I will do it. So literally when I get on because I do that extra work on my fitness transformation, and it's not by luck, I get on a phone with somebody and I talk to them, and I don't even give a Beachbody presentation. I don't even talk about the company Beachbody at all. I ask them questions about them, about their family, about who they are, what their goals are. Why do you want to become a coach? What, is this something you want to do long-term? What's going to drive you? Okay, that's awesome. I know we can help you get there. I can give you the tools that are going to help you do that. If you follow my example, I believe this is the best workout for you. And they'll buy the challenge pack without a hesitation. I still get the people that will ignore it or say they'll do it and then they won't actually do it for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever. But I can go in confidently and do that because I've shown them that it works. I've transformed my mind. and that inspires people, and I've transformed my body. And guys, remember that the transformation of the mind is a key element in your fitness transformation, because like I said, if I didn't believe right now that I could be 185 pounds and 6% body fat by July, I would never take the extra actions. I wouldn't have worked out 110% today. I wouldn't have made 100% good choices with my food today. I wouldn't have done the extra cardio that I needed to do today. But because I had that clear goal and I can fully believe in my mind that I can have that by July, I took the actions today. So I have a clear goal and a clear purpose, which then in turn makes me take those actions today. So can I get a yes? I will make a transformation in myself with my fitness and my mindset. Mindset first, fitness at the same time, but your mind really needs to be strong if you're really going to have a transformation. Okay. And here's write this note down. You guys have to complete a program. How do you, I see so many people jumping from one program to the next, doing 3 weeks, falling off, starting again, doing a P90X, Body Beast, 21-day fix, hip hop abs, Slim in 6, yoga booty ballet, hybrid program. Guys, that's not something that people that are following you can follow. So do a program and complete it. 100%. You guys should every 21 days, 60 days, 90 days, you guys should be submitting your results in the Beachbody Challenge. How can you ever expect your challengers or people to finish their programs if you cannot finish them yourself? So finish your freaking programs. I'm done with that one. Okay, I got a lot of yeses there, so I have strong belief. So we're going to do it. I will tell you guys firsthand, I will read 52 books this year, and I will complete Body Beast 1.5 times before Summit. Okay? I promise you guys that. Promise yourself to you guys what you guys are going to do as well. So here's the question, right? So I transform my mind and my body, and I will be successful. I wish I could read that right now. Success. Because you too can own this space of pure accomplishment. Right? So if you just transform your body and your mind and your body, you're going to be successful, right? No, that's not going to make you successful as a Team Beachbody coach. You can transform your mind. You can believe in yourself a little bit more. You can have the best transformation in Team Beachbody and still not be a successful coach. So what do I mean? Let's talk about it. You've got to be committed. You've got to be committed and consistent with the 3 vital behaviors. And guys, remember the 3 vital behaviors are 2 of the things that we talked about. Strengthening the mind, having a mental sounds weird, having a mindset change, a positive mindset change, and having a fitness change. Proof the products work, personal development. Guys, they don't say it's vital just as a joke, just to make it sound cool. It's vital because if you don't do them, your business will die. It will not thrive. It'll merely survive on like a life machine if you don't do those things. So you guys have to do those and not just half-ass them. You got to give it your full ass, 100%. So I know that one of the biggest things is, heck, we got 363 people on this call. I know many of you guys listened to Lindsay on the National Wake Up Call. It was phenomenal. But you can get all this knowledge and strengthen your mind and uplift yourself. But this quote here is going to say it all from Zig Ziglar. Most people who fell in their dream fell not from the lack of ability, but the lack of commitment. I'm here to tell you guys today, you guys all have all of the ability that you need to become a successful Team Beachbody coach. You have all the knowledge available from the National Wake Up Calls, from the team calls, from the team call archives, from the coach office, from www.coachfaq.com, from Google, from YouTube. Heck, even when I want to learn how to do challenge groups, I go Google it and learn from like Brittany Leggett or Brigida or Kendra Fletcher or Lindsay. I'm still learning that stuff. So all this stuff is there, right, for you to learn from. So it's not a lack of ability, really, because we can all connect with people, but it's a lack of commitment. So I don't know how to, you guys probably can't do a thumbs up from the computer, but let's hear a yes if you have trouble staying committed. If you have trouble sticking to what you say you're going to do. Let you guys process. And if you're not sure, think about it. Have you shown up to your business every single day with the right mindset and given every ounce of your soul and being into growing yourself, serving others, and helping other people and educating other people about how we can change their life with the tools that we have and the culture that we have? Okay, so there's a lot that are saying it's hard to admit, but yes. So here's the thing, guys, and I'm not going to go against, I don't want to go against Zig Ziglar because he's a huge inspiration of mine. I've learned so many things through his books and through his quotes and listening to Zig Ziglar on YouTube. But I feel it goes a level beyond people failing in their dream from the lack of ability, but the lack of commitment. Wishy-washy. It's not just a lack of commitment, guys. And I made one of my dreams come true today. You know how you see those inspirational fitness posts? It's like it's the same girl every time doing this thing, and then it says some inspirational words. So I made my own one today. I'm going to share with you guys what I fully believe is the reason why hundreds, if not thousands, of coaches in Team Beachbody are not staying committed to what they say they're going to do. And I'm going to be honest. I'm one of those guys, and it's something I'm working through in my personal development. I get pissed off. And I'm like, why can't people commit? You say from day one, you're in this, you love this, you're committed. Why do you not show up? Honestly, it's my struggle. I have a lot of struggle with that personally. So that's something I'm working through as a coach, is learning to understand people better, to get intimate with people, right? Intimate isn't just about your spouse and you or your boyfriend and you. Intimate is about understanding people on a deeper level than just formalities. And so I'm working on that stuff. That's why I'm reading that, so I can understand people, love them a little bit better, so I can understand them and help them in this aspect. So here is my Scottyism quote of the day. It's not a lack of commitment that's holding you from your goals and your dreams. I fully believe it is a lack of purpose. Find your purpose and you will be committed. Okay, find your purpose and you will be committed. So it's not a lack of skills, because everybody can develop the skills. It's not just a lack of not being committed. It's a lack of having a purpose. Okay? Find your purpose and you will be committed. The only reason that I show up every single day today, even though some days I don't want to, Lindsay is the same way. Lindsay and I we don't have to work anymore. We'll get the same paycheck. We have great, phenomenal leaders on our teams. This business will flourish and continue to grow. So why does Lindsay show up and why does Scotty show up and do personal development all day long and work harder than ever on his transformation and invite people and sign up new coaches and run challenge groups? Guys, at the beginning of this call, I told you I feel like a brand new coach because I'm still doing brand new coach things. I'm doing exactly what I did in my first month, inviting people to join me in what I believe in and in creating a cause and a mission about what we want to stand for. So it's not a lack of commitment that is holding you from your goals and dreams. I fully believe it's a lack of purpose. Find your purpose and you'll be committed. So my purpose is much deeper than this, but I wanted to give some ideas, some little bullet points that you could begin to write down and discover your purpose. So here's just some of mine. My purpose as a Team Beachbody coach: better myself daily through personal development and make positive life connections. Be an example of daily happiness and joy through my actions. 3, and this is what my purpose as a coach is: plant seeds of growth and change in other people daily. Be the best father and husband with this one chance that I have. Help others overcome fears and make positive changes in their life. And creating a legacy for my family and future generations. So I'm constantly working on my purpose. And your purpose is maybe tie that to your why. You talk about your why, what's going to drive you. Mine was the fear of being able to take care of my family in the beginning. And it's going to continually change. So you can't, 4 years from now, you can't have the same why that you had when you started. You can have that, but it's got to expand as you grow as a person. I'll just walk you through mine real fast. The first one, fear of paying my bills made me sign up. Second, I would do whatever it took to bring my wife home from work, because I fully believed that I was not meant to only see her a few hours a week, and that we were supposed to raise our kids together. So that was the next thing that drove me. The next thing was that moment I had that you may have heard in stories before, where I watched my daughter get off the bus one day when I was homesick from work. And I realized that day that I could experience that feeling I felt when I went and picked her up from the bus every single day. And that not only could I do that for her, I could do that for every one of my children, and that I could help other parents that were missing out on their kids' lives do the same thing. So that was the next thing that I developed. And remember, it was that for myself, but also expanding to helping others do that as well. And dang, every time I see Brigida's post with her kids, and I see Kendra talk about it, and I'm not going to say the other one because they're about to announce it, but another amazing family that is gone full time. They just haven't announced it yet. I see these things and I get emotional, because that was my purpose, is to help other parents live that type of life by design, where they own their time. Their bosses don't tell them how much time they get to spend with their kids. So that was the next thing. The next thing where, I just developed little things that were part of my purpose. Like, I'm not supposed to, and a thing they teach us in our church is you're not supposed to be in debt. So the next thing was to get out of debt. So it was to pay off the home. And so it's continually expanded. So that happens, we're all debt free. My next thing was the part of that, I'm losing my voice. I'm on antibiotics right now for pneumonia, just so you know. I got pneumonia after my surgery, my anesthesia chest surgery. So, so the next thing was creating a legacy for my family. So we purchased a dream cabin, a dream vacation home for my family. And I spend like 2 nights a week there with my kids. I get to bring my coaches there. I brought my male diamond coach, all my male coaches from Idaho Falls there. Sean and Tara came in. Instead of staying at a hotel when they went on their vacation, they came and stayed there. I went up and met them there, and so we've created that legacy for our family, future generations, share with our coaches. And I had a deep emotional tie to that, because I remember specifically that it's not by chance it's on that lake with that view. It's because that's where I spent my youth. That's where I spent my youth with my dad and my grandfather, fishing on that lake. And it's the things that I remember most as a child. And I want to give that to my kids, that type of experience to my kids, to my grandkids. And, my grandpa died when I was on my mission, when I was in South America, and I never really got to say goodbye. So I honestly, when I'm up there and you guys see me there every week, I'm with him. I'm with my grandpa, and he's proud of me, and I'm super excited about that. So sorry I cried. My dad watches this, he's going to cry too. So I'm creating a legacy for my family. So that's my purpose. That is why, Sarah, yes, I am. That is my purpose, and it continually grows and expands as I grow and expand as a person. That's why I'm committed. That's why you see me doing a team call with pneumonia. That's why you see me. I'll tell you, our team had our best month ever in March, or in February. The best month ever. I had my most Success Club points I've never had. I had like 52 Success Club points between my account, my wife's account, my mom's account. We went diamond in 16 days in our 3rd business center. And it all happened while I was on painkillers and after a surgery, laying in bed, feeling like crap. And so how did that all happen? It's because I'm so clear on my purpose as a coach that I'm committed to show up no matter what life throws at me. You can break my bones and then flood my basement, my entire basement 2 days later, and you can give me pneumonia, but I'm going to show up and live life at its fullest. And that's what inspires people every single day. And that's why we're at where we're at, because I'm that committed. But it's not because I'm that committed. It's because I'm that clear on my purpose. So I want you guys to really take away from this call is that you develop and understand what your purpose is, because once you understand that, you're boom, Jamie, drop the mic. Because once you understand that in your life, you're going to be able to be committed. So what I want you guys to know, and one of my favorite quotes to leave you guys on, is success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. So if you don't go through that mind transformation and continue working on your fitness transformation, and in your mind you're saying, why am I not at this place? Why do I not get help from my upline? Why is life throwing me these curveballs? How come I just can't do this? Why is nobody following me? Why do I have 20 coaches and none of them are emeralds yet? We all go through those things and those thoughts. But if that's the mindset you have, you're going to continue to get that type of thing into your life. I believe that whatever level you vibrate at to the world with your mind, whatever you put out, you're going to get back. So we get back that type of amazing, we get those types of amazing coaches coming to us. We get amazing things happening in our lives, even though we go through a lot of trials, because despite the trials, we take those, as Lindsay says, and turn that mess into a message. And I know that I've inspired more people by breaking my collarbone and being on drugs and showing up and being that example than I did when I was at my fittest. So if you're in a bad spot right now, it's just a switch of the mind from complaining about it to saying, how can I use this to inspire somebody else? So I want to leave you guys with that. You've got to remember, you're going to be successful not at a certain rank. Like, I'm not a 15-star diamond. I'm not even a 10-star diamond, right? But I like myself. I like what I do, and I like how I'm doing it. And once you can get to that level in your own mindset and then just discover that purpose and work hard every day, that is when you are going to start to attract some amazing people into your life that will completely change your life. So thank you guys for having me on the call. I love all of you guys. I'm excited to see you guys at Summit and get to, hopefully, after you discover your purpose over the next couple of days or redefine it, that helps you make the commitment to get to your Super Saturday, to get to Summit, and to show up and listen to every single call and learn from everybody, because those calls are when you get those nuggets where you're like, that's it. That's the thing I was missing. That's the 1% I was missing, that if I change, my business will be successful. So show up to life every single day. That's the greatest event that you guys need to show up. So see you guys later. Now's when you drop the mic.